Hey everyone, welcome back to That's Cakeable. I'm Janine, and today I'm going to show you how I created this striped effect on a cake that you can recreate at home simply and easily using any colours you like for any cake occasion you like, and it's sure to impress. I hope you enjoy. So I decided that I wanted to keep this cake as a display. So for the purpose of this video, I've used styrofoam dummies, which I covered in some piping gel. And now I've taken some white fondant that I'm rolling out, measuring it to make sure that it's going to fit all the way over my cake. And then I take an acupuncture needle and pop any air bubbles that are in that fondant. Smooth it all out. A nice smooth finish means a nice smooth cake. And then I plop it over that cake just like you would a normal cake. Smooth out the top and then make sure you secure those top edges to stop it ripping. A lot of fluffing out of the fondant skirt and rubbing more so in a round direction than an up and down direction until you get to the bottom, because you don't want your fondant to rip. All the way around. Smooth out the top, smooth out the sides. And then I cut off the excess with a knife, take my flexi smoothers and make those edges nice and sharp. There we go. Now I'm taking some light pink fondant, and I did this with light pink, white and grey. They were the colours that I chose. Rolled them out nice and thin and then run them through the pasta machine. Now you want to run all of those colours through the pasta machine at the same setting, because we need them all to be the same width. That's really important to get the right effect. I use my acrylic rulers and I've cut all of them into different sizes, different widths, and this sort of helps unless you want to do major mathematics and get the right measurements around for your stripes. You're always going to end up with a gap at the end that doesn't match. So using different coloured stripes, you don't have that problem. Different coloured stripes, I mean different width, different size stripes. Okay, now I've popped a toothpick into the top centre of the cake, and that's our guide for where our stripes have to sit. I moisten the top of that cake, add my first stripe starting at that center point and take it right down the side, making sure it's nice and straight. At the top we take the ruler and pop it against the center point, take it to the outside edge of the stripe where the stripe meets the cake, the edge of the stripe meets the top of the cake, and just slice it downwards. Add some more water, add our next stripe, take it back down the side, making sure that we're measuring it up, that it's nice and straight as we go. Though I do believe I get wonky at the end. It happens. The same thing, take the ruler from the center point to the right hand side of that stripe where the edge of the stripe meets the edge of the cake, and cut downwards. Voila! And now you go along and you do the same thing with all of your stripes. See, easier than you thought. Give it a little bit of a smooth as you go around. Now when you get to the back, like I said, they're never going to meet up perfectly. So take one stripe of fondant, butt it up against one side of the other stripe that's already on the cake, and then just rub your finger down the middle of the stripe, and you will end up with an indent of where the other stripe meets. Cut down that indent and then it will fit in nice and snugly. Take your smoother, smooth out all the rest of the lumps and bumps that you may have, keeping it flush. All the top, all the sides, making sure it's nice and sharp. And then take off the excess, and there you have your striped cake. Now I decided to decorate this as a second birthday sort of theme cake. So I took a homemade cutter that I did on my 3D printer, so it's a little bit stringy, sorry. Cut out a number 2 and pop that aside to dry. Now I'm using a long rope of pink fondant, and I'm going to use that just to tidy up the bottom of the cake to make it look nice and neat. A little bit of water around the edge, pop that on, and there your cake's ready to decorate. Okay, so now I'm making some spirals out of the grey, white and pink fondant. What I did was just run them through my fettuccine maker, wrap them around the end of a paintbrush and set them aside to dry. Now I cut out a picture of a teddy bear holding a heart because I thought it was cute and decided to make it into like a jigsaw on the side of the cake. So I've taken the head and I'm cutting around the head in some light brown fondant. Tidy that up. Now with a toothpick, I'm just marking out where all of the details go so I know where to place them all later on. The love heart is a little bit blown out, but that is light pink fondant, guaranteed. Cut around the heart. Now this isn't difficult, but it is time consuming. Putting his little neck on now. And then I've placed the heart where I want it to be, but I have to go around the heart so that it fits into the head section. So I cut out those pieces and that fits in nicely. See what I mean by that jigsaw? Yeah. Making his little feet now, so I just take balls of that same light brown fondant and use the picture that I printed out as a template to get the right size. Squash it down, and now I have to cut sections for those little feet to sit in. So you go around and do the same thing with the X-Acto knife around the heart, make little voids for those feet to pop in. And there we go. Now I'm going to go back in and do the same thing with the little hands, but we don't have to cut voids for the hands because they are holding the heart. Looking super cute already. And his little pads on his feet, his little paws. I've just made some lighter brown fondant, more of an ivory, rolled it into little balls, all varying sizes, and popped it on for his paws. Now I'm doing the same for the inside of his ears. Now it's always handy to have that template for this reason. You get to measure it up on the original photo and transfer it to your own design. Once again, cut out those sections that I needed that little heart to fit in, and now he's really all coming together. A little bit of black for his nose. Black on the mouth. And I decided to challenge myself and use a tiny thin stripe of black fondant for that section between the nose and the mouth. Then I added just a little bit of pink for a tongue. Rolled out some black fondant balls for the eyes, securing them both with just a little bit of water and tapping them down gently. And then of course, the catch light. Tiny pieces of white fondant secured with a little bit of water up in the corner of the eyes, and a little one for the nose. I made a little bit of a bow too for her. Pop that on just as a finishing touch. Putting it all together now to make sure it all fits. And then I've just secured that to the side of the cake with a little bit of water. And I ended up turning it around because I couldn't do it backwards. Pop everything on with a little bit of water into place like a jigsaw puzzle. And there she is. Too cute. Pop our 2 on a skewer and pop that right into the top. And then I put our streamers, all around the top, a couple on the bottom, and there she is. Very simple, very effective, very, very easy. And that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. It's a really effective way to get a show-stopping looking cake. Like I said, you can use it for any occasion, using any color combination. It all works out the same way. Decorate it as you like, and you can have a birthday cake, a baby shower cake, anything you like. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I can't wait to see you again really soon for the next one. Thank you for bearing with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.